Ethan Clark didn't move into the apartment because it was cheap. He moved in because he needed a place fast. The police didn't tell him why the previous tenant left in the middle of the night. They only said the room was empty and the keys were ready. When Ethan entered for the first time, something felt off. Not dangerous, not obvious, just wrong in a quiet, cold way. The air felt heavier near the bedroom, like someone had breathed in that space for too long. As he unpacked, a strange smell drifted from the storage cabinet above the wardrobe. Burnt plastic mixed with something sweet. He climbed on a chair and opened the cabinet. Inside was a wooden box. It didn't look old. No dust, no scratches, no lock. It looked like someone had placed it there gently, almost lovingly. Before he touched it, something inside tapped. 3 soft knocks from the inside of the box. His stomach tightened. He thought maybe a mouse was trapped. He opened the lid. The smell grew stronger. Old perfume and cold soil. Inside lay a porcelain doll. A cracked cheek. Black hair tied with a faded red ribbon. Small glass eyes that felt too focused. A dress that looked like it once belonged to a child. A tag wrapped around her wrist said, "Annabelle." The tapping stopped. Ethan stared for too long. Something about the doll felt awake. He put the lid back on. A whisper came from behind him. "Don't close the box." He spun around. The room was empty. His phone buzzed. A new photo appeared. It showed him standing at the cabinet, and behind him the doll stared over his shoulder. Even though he had never removed her. Ethan slammed the cabinet shut and backed out of the room. His heart raced so hard he felt dizzy. He tried to convince himself the photo was an old image, maybe from the last tenant. But when he looked around the room again, the shadow near the corner felt heavier, almost like someone small was sitting there watching him. He slept with the lights on. The next morning, Ethan went to the landlord, Mr. Doyle, and explained what he found. Doyle was an old man with tired eyes, and his expression changed the moment Ethan mentioned the box. "You opened it?" he asked quietly. "Yes," Ethan said. "Why?" Doyle rubbed his face. "That box should have been sealed." "What's inside it?" "What's wrong with the doll?" Doyle didn't answer. He only said, "Keep the box closed. I'll come for it later." But he never did. That night, Ethan made dinner and tried to ignore the memory of the whisper. He watched TV until his eyes grew heavy. At 12:43 a.m., his phone lit up with a new notification. A fresh photo. He hadn't taken any. The picture showed his bedroom, taken from the floor, low angle. Annabelle sitting in the middle of the room. Ethan felt a cold drop slide down his spine. He walked to the storage cabinet. It was open. The box was empty. He found the doll sitting on his kitchen chair. He picked her up carefully and whispered, "Stop this." Her head leaned to the side as if listening. He put her back in the box, taped the lid shut, wrapped the whole thing in a blanket, and stuffed it in the cabinet again. He locked the bedroom door. At 2:04 a.m., tapping started again. Not from the cabinet, from the bedroom mirror. Tap, tap, tap. Ethan held his breath and grabbed his phone. His hands shook. The tapping stopped. A faint line of writing appeared on the mirror, fogged from the inside as if someone breathed over it. "Don't speak to her." Ethan stepped back. The room felt colder. The lights flickered twice. A small giggle echoed from the cabinet. He didn't sleep. By the next morning, Ethan had reached his limit. He wrapped the box again, carried it across the street, and threw it deep into a public dumpster. He walked home with confidence for the first time in days. But when he opened his apartment door, his knees weakened. Annabelle sat on the floor of the hallway. Her crack looked deeper now. Her painted smile seemed wider. Ethan stood frozen. The air inside felt heavier, as if the temperature dropped 10 degrees. He didn't touch her. He backed away to the bedroom and shut the door. He sat on the floor and tried to control his breathing. His phone buzzed again. A new message. No number.
"Why did you leave me outside?"
He blocked the number, but more messages appeared. "Come back. I don't like being alone. You are mine now." Then the photos came. One photo of his bedroom door from the hallway. One photo of his back while he sat. One photo taken inches from his neck. He felt faint. Whatever was haunting him wasn't pretending anymore. He rushed into the bathroom and locked the door. A small shadow stopped outside the door. A child's shadow. Ethan covered his ears as a soft whisper slid into the cracks of the door. "Let me in." The whisper grew louder and closer. "Let me in." A tiny porcelain hand slid under the door. Then it vanished. After 2 hours, the pressure on the door faded. The whisper stopped. The light steadied. When Ethan stepped out, Annabelle sat in the middle of the hallway again, her head tilted like she had been waiting. A small paper note rested in her lap. "Don't ignore me again." Ethan grabbed his backpack and ran to a cheap motel. At 3:18 a.m., someone knocked on his motel door. 3 slow knocks. He checked the peephole. Annabelle's face stared back at him. Ethan drove to his friend Rachel's house at sunrise. He looked pale and broken, but she didn't laugh when he told her the full story. She believed him. They searched online for the apartment's history and found something strange. A woman named Grace Hartwell lived in that building in 1997. Her daughter Annabelle died in the apartment. A sudden, unexplained death. Neighbors claimed the mother talked to the doll every night. Some said the doll talked back. Grace disappeared 2 months later. Not a clue left. Rachel whispered, "The spirit isn't the doll, it's what's attached to it." Ethan swallowed hard. What does she want? Rachel looked him in the eyes. She wants someone to speak to her, someone to stay with her, someone she can attach to. Ethan's phone buzzed again. A new message. "I'm outside." He checked the window. Annabelle sat on the front steps of Rachel's house, her head angled upward, staring at his window. Rachel grabbed his arm. "Don't go near her." But it was too late. The house lights flickered. A cold wave swept through the hallway. A new photo appeared. Annabelle inside the kitchen. Rachel covered her mouth. Ethan felt everything inside him sink. Then a shape stepped into view behind the doll. A small girl, hair covering her face, feet not touching the ground. She whispered, "You opened the box." Ethan grabbed Rachel's hand. "Run!" They rushed into the street. The air felt thick. Rachel pulled him toward the car. But Ethan felt something pulling him back. A soft pressure around his chest. Annabelle sat in the road. The shadow girl towered behind her. Ethan couldn't breathe. Rachel shouted, "Don't listen to her!" But Ethan heard one more whisper. "You belong to me." Rachel tried to drag Ethan to the car, but his legs felt heavy like he was underwater. The shadow girl reached out with long, thin fingers. Her face lifted slowly. Her eyes were hollow. Her mouth stitched into the same smile the doll had. "You spoke to me," she whispered. "Now I stay with you." Ethan's breath turned white. His fingers went numb. His heartbeat slowed. Rachel screamed, "Fight it!" But Ethan couldn't move. The shadow girl pressed her small cold hand against his chest. Ethan gasped like the air had been ripped out of him. Rachel clawed at his arm, but he slipped from her grip and fell backward toward the doll. The shadow wrapped around him like smoke, tightening its hold. Ethan tried to scream, but no sound came out. His eyes widened in terror. The last thing Rachel heard from him was a broken whisper. "Help me." Then he went silent. The shadow girl pulled him into the darkness. His body vanished as if swallowed by air. The street fell quiet. Only the doll remained, sitting upright, her crack now perfectly restored. A new ribbon tied around her wrist showed a fresh name stitched carefully. "Ethan." Rachel cried until her throat burned. She called police, but there was no body, no trace of him, only the doll. She moved to another city, new job, new house. But fear followed her every night. At 3:18 a.m., she hears 3 slow knocks on her door. She never opens it. Because she knows Annabelle is still looking for a new home. And she waits for someone willing to speak back.